There is a shortcut available to almost every entrepreneur in Africa. You know exactly what I am talking about. The permit that takes 6 months through the official process, but 2 weeks in a small envelope if you know the right person. The contract that should go to the best bid, but goes to whoever shows up first with cash. The tax bill that disappears if you are willing to make a quiet arrangement with the right official. These shortcuts are everywhere. They are normalized. They are so common that refusing them feels naive, like you are the only person in the room who does not understand how things actually work. And here is what nobody tells you about them. Every single one of them is a trap. Not because of your conscience, not because of morality, not even because of the law, though that matters too. Because of mathematics. Every shortcut you take today is a debt you are taking out against your future. And like every debt, it comes with interest. And like the worst kind of debt, you never know exactly when the bill will arrive, only that it will. Dangote built the largest industrial empire in African history without paying that debt, not because he was sheltered from the pressure, not because corruption did not exist in the markets he operated in. It existed everywhere he went. It was offered to him constantly. He refused it every single time. And today I am going to show you exactly why that refusal, which looked like weakness, to many people around him, was one of the most powerful strategic decisions he ever made. The shortcut economy. Let me explain how the shortcut economy actually works, because most people only see one side of it. When you pay a bribe to get a permit faster, you see the benefit immediately. 2 weeks instead of 6 months. Problem solved. Money well spent. What you do not see is what that transaction has just created. You have just told someone that you are willing to pay outside the system to get what you want. That information does not stay private. It travels. And from that moment forward, you are a target. The official who took your money knows you will pay again. His colleagues know. The network knows. Every future interaction you have with any part of that system will now carry a price tag that was not there before. Not because you did something wrong in the eyes of the people around you. Because you demonstrated that you have money and you are willing to use it. Outside official channels, you did not solve a problem. You purchased a subscription. This is the first wall the shortcut builds in front of you. The dependency wall. Once you start paying, you cannot stop. Because now the system knows your price and the system will create problems specifically designed to extract that price from you on a regular basis. Dangote understood this dynamic before most of his competitors did. He saw that every entrepreneur who chose the shortcut path did not get ahead faster. They got captured faster. They became permanently dependent on a network of intermediaries who needed to be fed constantly and who could destroy everything at any moment simply by withdrawing their protection. The 3 walls shortcuts build. Every shortcut builds not 1 wall but 3. As they appear at the worst possible moments, exactly when your business is trying to break through to the next level. The first wall is the credibility wall. Here is something Dangote has demonstrated across 4 decades of business building. The most valuable asset in any business relationship, with banks, with international partners, with governments, with large corporate clients, is not your product. It is not your price. It is your reputation for doing things the right way. When you need a $10 million loan to expand your factory, the bank does not just look at your balance sheet. It looks at your history, how you have operated, whether the money you have made was made cleanly, whether the relationships behind your business can survive scrutiny. If shortcuts are part of how you operate, that scrutiny destroys you. Not dramatically, quietly. The loan gets declined without a clear reason. The international partnership never materializes. The major contract goes to a competitor who was slightly less competitive on price but significantly more trustworthy on integrity. You never see the wall. You just stop moving forward and you cannot understand why. Dangote has accessed capital, partnerships and government relationships at a scale that no other African entrepreneur has matched. That access was not built on connections alone. It was built on a reputation built over decades of operating with absolute transparency and integrity. That reputation opened doors that money alone could never open. The second wall is the exposure wall. Every shortcut you take is a vulnerability someone else holds. The official who took your envelope knows what you did. The partner who helped you circumvent the process knows what you did. The employee who arranged the payment knows what you did. Every one of them is now a potential threat. Not necessarily because they want to harm you, but because people talk, situations change, and information that was private yesterday becomes public tomorrow. In Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, across all of Anglophone Africa, we have seen this pattern destroy businesses that were genuinely excellent, not because they were incompetent, not because the market turned against them, because one person decided to talk, or one investigation uncovered the wrong document, or one political change made yesterday's protected shortcut today's prosecutable offense. Dangote sleeps well at night. He has said this himself in various ways. He does not fear what an investigation might find. He does not worry that a partner might expose something. He does not spend energy managing secrets or protecting arrangements that cannot survive the light of day. That peace is not just spiritual comfort. It is a massive competitive advantage, because the entrepreneur who is managing secrets is not fully focused on building part of their energy every day. Constantly Antu is going into protection and concealment. Dangote directs all of that energy into growth. The third wall is the culture wall. This is the most destructive wall of all, and the most invisible. When you take shortcuts as a leader, you are not just making a personal decision. You are setting a standard for everyone around you. Your employees see how you operate. Your partners observe your methods. The culture of your business is being formed not by what you say, but by what you do. If you circumvent the system when it is convenient, your employees will circumvent the system when it is convenient for them. If you bend the rules when the pressure is high, your managers will bend the rules when the pressure is high. If integrity is negotiable at the top, it is negotiable everywhere. Dangote has built an organization of over 30,000 people. That organization has a culture. That culture is the reason the business functions consistently across multiple countries, multiple sectors, and multiple decades. A culture of discipline, transparency, and doing things the right way. Not because it is comfortable, but because it is the only foundation strong enough to build something that lasts. You cannot build that culture while taking shortcuts. The two are incompatible. Every shortcut you take is a crack in the foundation of the culture you are trying to build. If you are still watching, subscribe right now, because what comes next is the most practical part. Exactly how Dangote navigated a continent where corruption is widespread without losing competitive ground to those who were willing to pay. How Dangote competed without shortcuts. This is the question that matters most. Because I am not naive about the reality of doing business in Africa. Corruption exists, it is real. It creates genuine disadvantages for those who refuse to participate. Permits really do take longer. Contracts really do sometimes go to those who pay. The playing field is genuinely not level. So how did Dangote compete without playing by those rules? 3 ways. The first way is he built his own infrastructure. When the system created obstacles, unreliable electricity, poor logistics, slow port clearance, Dangote did not pay to navigate around the obstacles. He invested in eliminating them. He built his own power plants. He bought his own fleet of trucks. He developed his own port terminals. Yes, this cost more upfront than paying a bribe, but it created something the bribe never could. A permanent competitive advantage. His competitors were still dependent on unreliable external systems. He had removed that dependency entirely. Every obstacle the corrupt system put in front of him became an investment opportunity, and every investment he made into solving that obstacle created a barrier to entry that protected him from competition for decades. The second way is he built relationships at the level where corruption has less power. Corruption is most powerful at the middle levels of any system. The permit officer, the customs inspector, the contract administrator. It is less powerful at the level of presidents, ministers, and international bodies, because at that level, reputation and long-term relationships matter more than short-term cash. Dangote invested in building relationships at the highest levels of African government and international business, not through payments, through demonstrated value. His factories created jobs. His businesses generated tax revenue. His investments built infrastructure that governments needed. He made himself genuinely valuable to the people who could protect his ability to operate cleanly, and that protection was far more durable than anything an envelope could buy. The third way is he was patient in ways his competitors were not. The shortcut is always faster in the short term. That is precisely why it is tempting. But Dangote measured time differently. When a permit took 6 months instead of 2 weeks, he used those 4 extra months to prepare more thoroughly, to build more relationships, to develop his team, to plan the next phase. He treated every delay as an investment in doing things properly, and he trusted that the business, built on proper foundations, would ultimately outlast every competitor who had taken the faster road. That patience, compounded over 40 years, produced results that no shortcut could ever match. The question you need to answer today, I want to leave you with something specific, not an abstract principle, a concrete question that you answer honestly, right now, by yourself with no audience. Is there a shortcut currently built into how your business operates? A payment that should not exist, an arrangement that cannot survive scrutiny, a relationship that is transactional in a way that compromises your integrity? If the answer is yes, and for many of you it will be yes, because the pressure is real and the system is genuinely difficult, then I want you to think about what that shortcut is actually costing you. Not the money you paid, that is the smallest cost. The credibility you are not building with the partners who could transform your business, the culture you are corrupting in your own organization, the energy you are spending managing and protecting a vulnerability instead of building something real. The wall that is being constructed right now, invisibly, silently, that will stop your growth at exactly the moment when everything else is finally working. Dangote chose the long road, not because it was easier, because he understood that the short road always ends at a wall. Build your business on a foundation that can survive the light of day. Build it the way Dangote built his. If this video showed you something you needed to hear, subscribe. Because next week, we go deeper into the one habit that protects everything you build from the moment you start building it. See you there.